do is I take a pin. There's a pin goes down through to hold the basically to fasten the utility trailer to the lawn tractor. And I use that. I take my tools back there. You know, they provide me with a chainsaw and other things that I need to do my work. And I go back there and I clear the trails. I get rid of stuff that's fallen across the trails and is blocking it. I get rid of stuff that's impinging on the trails, growing out into the trails. And I get rid of all the stuff along the edges of the trails, all the small shrubs and little trees and things that are growing up that are mosquito that are kind of beginning to impinge on the trail, because, you know, nature will always try to take it back. Anything we do, nature will take it back. After I leave this camp, if I come back here in a year's time, there'll be hardly any indication I was ever here. If you come back in 5 years' time, there'll be virtually no indication I was here. Nothing. In fact, it'll be sooner than that. There'll be no here. But anyway, I decided I'd eat my lunch in the woods. So I go up to the truck. I brought a load of brush in to put on the burn pile so I can burn it whenever we have another fire, whenever it's decided we're going to do that. And we're getting quite a pile now. We'll have to do it soon, I think. But anyway, I bring a load up of stuff to put on the burn pile there, and I thought, I think I'll have lunch, because I was feeling hypoglycemic. And I get that way if I don't eat for a while, especially if I'm working hard. Then I just start to get weak and stupid and everything, and then I have to eat. Once I eat, I'm okay. So I was feeling that way, so I thought, I'm going to go up to the truck and I'm going to get my lunch. And I'm going to sit in the woods and eat my lunch, because it's nice back there. You know, it's not too hot, it's shaded, and it's just pretty back there. So that's what I decided I'd do. So I go to my truck, and I get my lunch. I get back on the tractor, and, you know, bear in mind, I've still got the trailer connected to the tractor, and I go back into the woods, and I go up the whole length of the trail, up the trail, up to the end of it, and then I turn around, and so I'm going to come back, and I turn around, and I stop there in a nice shady spot just as I go back towards the direction I came from. I shut the tractor down, and I get my lunch out, and I start eating my lunch. Well, I'm kind of focused on my lunch, so I don't notice right away. Because, like I say, I was getting kind of stupid and weak, and also, because I was hypoglycemic, so I didn't clue in right away. But I had a little bit of my lunch, and I look up from my lunch, and what do I see? But the trailer that I had been towing, sitting there down the pathway, down the trail a piece, just sitting there in the middle of the trail. So that the pin that goes down through to hold the trailer to the tractor, it had come out with little cuts on my hands and things here. Holy smokes! Anyway, it had cuts and stuff. It had popped up, and it had popped up just enough that it released the trailer. So I traveled probably 50 feet with no trailer, and I had no idea that I had lost the trailer. So it was kind of funny. And even after I stopped and I'm facing the darn thing, it still took me several minutes to clue into the fact that that the trailer was sitting down there and wasn't still behind me. Anyway, I finished my lunch. Then I went down there. I just drove the tractor down there, and luckily, the pin had come up enough to release the trailer from the tractor, but it hadn't fallen out. It was still attached to the trailer. So if it had fallen on the ground, I would have had a time finding it. But as it stands, it didn't do that. So it was very fortunate anyway. And so I just connected up the rigging again, and away I went working, and there were no more issues with it. But it was kind of funny anyway. Yesterday was a funny day all the way around, though, but that's just a funny story I wanted to tell you anyway. That happened to me yesterday. I couldn't help but to laugh. I looked up from my lunch and I see my trailer in the middle of the trail. And I thought, that's supposed to be behind me. I'm not supposed to be looking at it. It's supposed to be behind me. And I thought, oh shit, I hope the pin isn't lost, because that's going to be a bugger to find if it is. And like I say, I was very fortunate that the pin hadn't popped out. Of course, if it had popped out, it would have been close to wherever the trailer was, because it wouldn't have went very far before the trailer would have came apart from the tractor. So, I mean, I wouldn't have towed the trailer any distance really without that pin. So, and that's what happened. Once the pin came up enough that it cleared the hitch on the lawnmower, on the lawn tractor, it just released. That's all. So I kept going, and the trailer stayed where it was. But it was funny anyway, that's all. And I think the fact that it was sitting there about 50 feet ahead of me on the trail in my line of sight, and I didn't notice it for a while, was kind of funny too, Anyway,